Hey, what's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we'll explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting connections. In this episode, we're going to talk about leaving your friends. Gone. Goodbye. Leave them behind. Okay, that's kind of rough. Look, I'm just kind of raw with it, I think. But the idea is, when should you let go of your friends? I get this question so much. When do you know? How can you trust? What is the sign? What are the signs? And usually I say it's something like it depends, or maybe you can't tell, or such and such. But today I want to give you something that you can look at, some of the signs that you can look at, and you can say, all right, this is probably it. This is probably the thing, because I'm all about giving you some actionable steps. And so I'd like to give you some actionable steps to discovering, to checking, to seeing whether or not these are people that you need to keep around. Are you ready? Let's go. If you're new here, then you don't know that I'm a huge advocate for cutting people off, letting people go, releasing them so that you can get something new in your life. And that's no difference when it comes to connecting with people and making friendships, and also coworkers, family members as well. If it causes you pain, there is no reason that I could see immediately that you should hold on to it. But of course, we all have to discover what we're holding on to. We have to discover and learn for ourselves and our own experience that what we're holding on to is painful to us, and there's not a possibility that it's going to change if we continue on holding on to the relationship or to the idea or to the thing, whatever it is. But it's the same for attachment, any kind of attachment. And we're looking at friendships here today. The question that I so often get is, how can I trust people? When do I know that they aren't any good? When should I let the friendship go? And stuff like that. And what I teach in my courses, or what I teach in my coaching, is that you have to have the experience to know whether or not you want to hang on to this person. You want to try. You want to continue trying. And what I really teach is for people to really focus on their feelings. Like, how do you feel about this experiences that you keep having with them? And if you're having this question is, should I let these people go? If I don't know what to do, how do I know if I can trust them? If you're having that, you're already in a space of doubt. You're already in a space of pain, because we don't want people generally, we don't really want people close to us that we can't trust. Like, I think there's something deep down inside of us that wants to be around people who understand, who appreciate and accept us. And that means they also trust us, and they demonstrate that they trust us. And I have found in my own journey that I hang on to things that hurt me, and others hang on to things that hurt them because they wish for it to change, and they hope that they can. They've been told, they have a belief that they can make the change. And so they're like, I believe, or perhaps I think maybe if I stay around, if I do this the right way, if I show up the right way, if I say it a certain way, if I wear the right clothes, if I do the right things, then my relationship with them will change, and they'll be this person that I can hang around with. They'll be this person that is a good friend to me. If I am more understanding of them, then they'll be more understanding of me. So letting that person go is not something that's we want to do. It's like the very, very last option, because it's so painful to let go of that thing. You also have to contend with this idea that your thoughts, your belief has to change. And if you don't know anything about beliefs, they're pretty hard to change. You really have to go through an experience to change that belief. So with all that said, we have difficulty letting go of things that hurt us. And so instead of reaching for something that is painful, it's like a fire. You put your hand in the fire and you go, ouch, that hurts. Instead of focusing on what happened in that interaction and how you felt about what happened in that interaction, we start thinking, well, perhaps we need to approach the fire a different way. Maybe the fire didn't mean to hurt me. That's just what it does. I can tolerate it, or such and such. And then we get to a point where we're like, well, the fire isn't changing. Should I let go? Even being burnt, even being hurt, even being really upset, dismissed, whatever happened in your relationship or your friendship, it's not enough for you to simply just let go. It compounds. It has to compound over and over, because there's a belief in there, and my own experience, and perhaps your own, there's a belief in there that you need to hang on to this person. You spent so much time together. You've been through so much together. You've had so many wonderful experiences that flash up, but you forget all the terrible, hurtful things that happen when it's time to let go. Because it's like, I can't. You just can't. Doesn't want to. You can't imagine life without them. That belief pops up saying you can change this behavior if you just hold on a little longer, if you do something a little different, if you show up a different way, if you talk it out, if you have some more understanding, they will be different and your relationship will be different. And every time you get into a disagreement, every time you feel sad, every time you feel hurt by their behavior, that belief pops up again and it says, hey, this is temporary. Maybe you can do something else different. You can control this situation. You can fix it. They will be different for you. So we're fighting up against that. We fight that. We're fighting against that as people who want meaningful relationships and connections. There's a belief that says that you can just do something different and these people will change for you. They will change somehow. And that painful relationship that you have with them will no longer be. You see, the thing is, you can change. And the change is your belief about you staying. Your belief about you changing them. Your belief about you doing something different in the relationship that will allow you to let go. That belief is, I can do something to fix it, and changing it to the thing I can do to fix it is to leave. Counterproductive or counterintuitive, not counterproductive, but it's counterintuitive. It's not what you think. It's not what you think, because the focus is on you and how you feel about being in that space. So how do we get this bridge? How do we close the gap? How do we close the gap from the belief, the changing the belief from, look, I want to help you. I want to be your friend. I want to show up. I want to do all these things for you. And I'm going to stick through it, thick or thin. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to make this friendship happen and make this relationship happen because I can. I can and I will. I know I can. I'm going to go through the hurt and the pain. How do we go from that belief to, this isn't working, I got to let go. I need to do what's best for me. I got to let go. The way we get there is really to focus on the communication, the kind of communication, and then focusing on your feelings. So this is stuff that I teach in my courses, and I want to give you some actionable steps here, because I get this question so much, and it's really heartbreaking to have to go through this. But if you know without a doubt what you're looking for and what it is that you want, then you will know whether or not you can have it or whether this person is capable of it. And then it wouldn't be so hard to let go. It wouldn't be as hard to let go. You would release that belief. If you start asking yourself, look, do I deserve this? Is this something that I desire? Is this something that I need in my life? Forget about how long you've been together. Chances are this pattern of behavior has been happening. If you're questioning now, the pattern of behavior may have been happening and you just weren't paying attention. And now you're more in tune to how you feel about being rejected, about being made fun of, about not having someone spend time with you as you want. Like they're not available for you. It feels more intense. And so what I want to do is give you some actionable steps. Of course, asking yourself those questions. Do I deserve this? Do I want this? Is it something that I need in my life? Asking those things. But you really want to make sure, this is the actionable thing, you really want to make sure you communicate clearly what the problem is to them. Communicate that to them, what the problem is. But here's the thing, don't just go to them with what the problem is. If you got a big fight in your relationship, or if they're not making time for you, or if they're making fun of you all the time, or if you're not sharing similar interests, then you want to make sure that you tell them about that. However, you also want to make sure that you come with a solution. So if you have a problem with them not spending time with you, then come with a solution of how you could spend time together. Don't attack them. And what you want to do right here is to see how they respond to your solution. And this is the key. This is going to help you really figure out whether these people belong in your life or not. Because if they say that they cannot, they're not interested, they don't want to help you with your solution, then that is enough information for you to push towards the direction of out the door, to move in a different direction. Because in my humble opinion, my belief with friendships and connections with others is that we work together to help each other fight our fears. We work together to help each other reach our goals. And spending time together is a goal that both of us should have if we like each other. If we have joy for each other, we should. And my discomfort also is something that we can work together towards reaching a goal or dissipating. Because I'm uncomfortable with some things that are happening, and it would go both ways as well. So anyway, you're bringing a solution to the table and they're attacking the solution. It should show you enough. If you're feeling like, oh yeah, there's nothing you can do for this relationship, it's probably true. It's probably true. So if you're unsure whether or not you need to leave this relationship, look at the biggest problem that you have with them. Figure out the solution that you would like to have. Don't go without a solution, and have a conversation and say, look, I've got some ideas of how we can work this out. Let's work together on fixing this problem. Let's work together on spending more time together and see how they respond. Ask yourself, do you like that response? And there you have it. Hey, Patterns of Possibility fam. If you'd like a little more guidance and hands-on support, then I've got great news. You can hire me as your own personal coach. Go to patternsofpossibility.com/coaching to apply for individual or group coaching. In this 12-week program, I'm going to help you make the meaningful connections that you deserve. After this coaching program, I promise you'll be able to do 3 things. 1, you'll be able to clearly identify who belongs in your tribe and who doesn't. Say goodbye to those people who are wishy-washy, you're unsure of. No, you will know for certain whether or not they deserve to be in the same space with you. And second, you are going to know that your thoughts and feelings are valid and worth expressing. So if you do have feelings about your friends not holding up boundaries or not holding up space for you or not meeting your needs, then you are not going to shy away from telling them. You will be able to communicate your boundaries in a clear, concise manner and advocate for yourself in your relationships. And finally, you are going to learn how to start and stop conversations with strangers and steer them towards topics that are interesting and important to you. I don't know about you, but I don't have weeks, months, years to discover whether or not me and my new friend have compatible values. If you know what you're looking for, you can discover if you're compatible in just a few conversations. If all this sounds good to you and you're ready to make those meaningful connections, go to patternsofpossibility.com/coaching to find out more information. Again, go to patternsofpossibility.com/coaching to find out more information. I look forward to working with you. Now it's time for your listener letters. If you have burning questions about your friendships and your platonic relationships with your coworkers and so forth, let me know. Write me at patternsofpossibility@gmail.com, and I might just read your letter out loud. Wanting to contact friend after ending friendship. I ended a friendship with my female best friend because she wasn't putting in effort. And in return, she expected a lot from me. I'm having the feeling, though, of contacting her again because I'm sure she still trusts me and I still have an important place in her life. But it's just that she hasn't contacted me, and I really don't know if it's going to work now that I've made myself a lot clearer, and I really don't know what this will bring. I don't want to let her go. What should I do? Give this a second chance, or should I stand by my decision? All right. Well, thanks for writing in. This is what happens when we're not really sure. And then again, even though we buy things or we invest in things or we let go of things, we might think, oh, I had a use for that, or, it could be different or something like that, but we want to avoid having so much doubt and regret and dismissal, or not dismissal, but we want to avoid having so much doubt and second thoughts about the actions that we take. Especially because it sounds like what I read is that you let this person go and you're waiting for them to return to you. You're kind of expecting that they're going to return to you. I wonder about the situation. What do you like about them? I just don't understand, because I'm not having your experience exactly, but I do know that we kind of don't like to be alone. A lot of us struggle with that, or wishing that we could have this relationship be different if we just do something different in the relationship. And we forget about how exhausted and frustrated we were when we let go in the first place, when we decided we've got to take that break. We got to stop it. So, you're asking for advice, and I definitely want to give you something actionable here. What it means to end the friendship is that essentially you don't talk to them anymore. You go on and you do something else. The actionable thing is for you to discover at what point you decided to do that. What point? What happened? Did you do the most and she did the very least at this one point in time, and you were like just frustrated and you're just angry, and you didn't know how to express exactly what the problem is or come up with a solution. So the best solution that you had was like, look, you just can't be in my face anymore. I don't want to do all this extra work, and you don't seem to care as much as I do. So I want you to return to that situation. What happened? What were you feeling? We want to visit that situation right there. We want to understand about us. Because that situation, just by what I read here, is that it's happened many times over. You've done a lot and she has done very little. And it's a pattern. And every single time, you've probably been upset, a little annoyed maybe at first, a little more frustrated the next time, and then flat out angry and frustrated and wanting to end the relationship now. It'll continue to go like that. The pattern will continue to be like that unless we talk about that thing that's causing the discomfort, that's causing your pain, your frustration. And what I'd recommend that you do is figure out what that is and then come up with your solution. What would you like to happen instead? What would you like to happen? What would you like them to do? How would you like them to behave? And then make sure you tell them about it. Make sure you have a conversation around that. And here's the key. The key is the conversation that you have about the solution. How do they behave? Do they dismiss it? Do they tell you they can't do it? Do they have all kinds of excuses for you? Does it feel uncomfortable for you? Does it feel right? You don't like it? You feel more belittled and frustrated? There's your answer. It's always going to be like that. The relationship is always going to be like that. There's nothing that you can do except for let go so that you are not experiencing that situation. You've identified the problem. You've come up with a solution so that they don't feel attacked. And you want to work together on that solution, right? And if they don't want to work together with you, they don't want to be your friend. consider this question. Why would you want to be with someone who doesn't care about how you feel? Who's not working towards making sure that you feel complete, happy, heard in your life, in this situation, in this connection with them? It's a bunch of BS. It really is. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you like this podcast, share with someone who you think could benefit from this information, and follow me on social media. You can find me at Patterns of Possibility on all social media, and I go live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can catch me and learn more about these social connections and interact with other people who are looking for the meaningful connections, who share the same kind of stories, and be in community. And don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at patternsofpossibility.com, where you will get actionable steps delivered to your mailbox every week. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, take care.